And welcome everybody to the Oracle of the Light. Nice to see you all today. My name's SP Psychic Medium. And as usual, I'll be looking at all the different things going on around the world and using my tarot and oracle cards to open it up and look into it a little bit more, if you like. As you always know, I always say these readings are for entertainment purposes only. And as you know, and also only true of this point at this moment right now, okay? I'm going to use my tarot cards, the cosmic tarot cards, to give you readings as well. So on to today's show. Let's just go into it a little bit, because as we know, Trump is over in Scotland right now, and this is what this show is all about today. Trump being over in Scotland, and if it was the right thing for him to do, because as we know, Trump's got a little bit of a history now about when the temperature starts to rise, if you like, he jumps ship, you could say, and runs away, as the big coward he is, to Scotland. And he always forever seems to be opening golf courses, which seems a bit strange, because I seem to remember him also opening a golf course at the same time that he really should have been showing up at the E. Jean Carroll trial, which incidentally he was found guilty of, and it was technically he was found guilty of raping, technically, and which is horrific and awful and disgusting. But if we look at what he previously did in that same trial when things were heating up, he jumped to Scotland. So you could say that the fact that he's decided to come up to Scotland shows that the temperature's getting hot in the water for him, which is good. And he's clearly wanting to try and distract people as well, but it's not working, because unfortunately he's decided to put his golf courses in Scotland. And Scottish people are fantastic, wonderful people, but they're very hardy and tough people, and they don't stand for no rubbish. And so consequently, they're not standing for any rubbish, and they're outside all of his golf courses, protesting and everything. And it's, in terms of the media attention, I know that it's actually taking the attention off what Trump wanted it to be, which was the golf course. Because even I'll post a link to the Al Jazeera ad, not the ad, the Al Jazeera article here, where even though this place that he's doing his golf course is in everything, he can't shake off this speculation, including the speculation that many of his fan base are now linking up to, the MAGA fan base, about his friendship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He is, of course, we all know as well, the Wall Street Journal also did a huge full page spread, with a birthday note, saying happy birthday, may every day be another wonderful secret. So there's lots of different things here. And also on Friday, a Scottish reporter even shouted to Trump, "Are you in Scotland to escape legal problems?" Of course, he didn't reply, and another famous quote said, the famous quote by someone saying, "Scotland hated Trump before it was fashionable." Because the reason why does such hatred come from Scotland then towards Trump? Well, because basically he's that developer that's destroying all the beautiful nature reserve. They're beautiful, because before that was a golf course, it was a beautiful nature reserve. I even know of a retreat centre that actually used to be by the side of a Trump course, I believe, that had to move in the end, because of the pressure of being near that land, if I'm not mistaken. There was a retreat centre that used to be up there, very close to it, I believe, and they had to move too, I believe, because of links. There was issues, So yeah, Trump has been consequently not very liked in Scotland, and continues not to be liked, So in terms of what am I going to be looking in this reading, I'm not going to be drawing out a structured reading. I thought I would just want to draw it out and see what the cards say as we go. But the main thing I'm focusing is just really one question, And the question is, was it the right move for Trump to come to Scotland at this moment? Because at this moment is quite crucial. Because as much as he wants to stop people from talking, if you saw my last video about Epstein, by the way, you'll have seen that Trump wants to bury it, like big time. He really, really wants to bury this story. There's a reason for that, I'm sure. And you can still see that he's still saying, why are you talking about it? Why are you talking about it? And don't forget, Trump is due to also come back to England again in September to meet the King, which this visit can only make that visit even worse, if you like, because with what else is going on right now, should the King really be meeting with this man? You know, it's going to really throw a lot of interesting questions up about that coming up too, which I'm sure I'll do a reading about as well. But, here we go. So straight away, this card has jumped out. So let's go into this. So was it the right move for Trump to come to Scotland? That doesn't look a positive yes to me. That looks more like a no. Was it the right move for him to come to Scotland? No. Because I feel that the reason for this is it's to do with the hurt that's been caused here. You know, you can't run away from the negativity and hurt that you've done. Trump is a huge denier of everything. We all know that he comes out with lots of false things that aren't true, because that's why he has to be fact checked so much. If he didn't need to be fact checked, you know, if you don't need to fact check the things, then you don't need to use them. You know, that's why the Democrats very rarely are fact checked, because they give you true facts. But when you aren't given the truth, you need to fact check. And so this to me represents these parties that have been hurt, you know. Now I feel that this could be as wide as, like, one of these could represent the MAGA, another one could represent the public, and another one could also almost represent the country, you know, because and the Republicans even, because he's turned it into the Trump party. It's a MAGA party. It's not the Republicans even, and so it goes beyond politics in that sense. You know, he's running a fascist regime with these awful ICE that are literally just kidnapping people off the streets. This isn't what people do in a regular regime. So first of all, was it the right move for Trump? No, because he can't run away from it. This is the thing. He can't run away from this history and what he's done, you know. It will follow him around like his shadow, you know. Interestingly, there's one of these people that in black is almost like he can't get rid of all that 15 years of friendship, if you like. It can't just vanish overnight. This isn't how it works, you know. Let's just get another card out to see what we say about this. So the Hanged Man, this is upside down. So the Hanged Man is this is all to do with, was it the right move for Trump? This is all about him trying to run away. You know, the Hanged Man upside down is the opposite of hanging around, so that he's not hanging around. He doesn't want to hang around. I think he's really afraid of being caught. I feel with this card, it feels like Trump is really afraid of being caught, and so he doesn't want to hang around anywhere. He wants to almost try and disobey the law and get around the law, so it doesn't so he can't get caught by them, you know. So he doesn't want to hang around anywhere for too long, I believe, actually. And don't forget, he doesn't really have any friends, you know. And so there's no one he's particularly tied to. So if he needs to go anywhere to get out of the law, he will. So I think people should remember that. The next card then is the Moon upside down. So I feel this is to do with, it feels like this is the Epstein case. And then the Epstein case is represented by that lobster that is pricking him. And I feel that this is because it's upside down, because it's all to do with bad, horrific things, you know. This isn't just evil things. This is like really dark things that have been going on here, which is why I can't understand all of the people that are protecting and enabling him, you know, because they're standing up for that dark, horrific things, you know. And so this is, to me, about, it's like it's more than a thorn in his side, this, you know. This is more than a thorn in his side. It's really getting to him. Number one, this is really getting to him. And I think he is worried. I do think he is worried, actually. I think that there's a definite sense of dread. I think he thought he could get away from it, but in reality, he really isn't at all. If anything, the temperature seems to be turning up and up and up as more and more people show things, and next thing, you know, I get a real big sense of that. I want to get a couple more cards before we get also an Oracle of the Light card to see what that says here. You know, the Two of Pentacles, again, I think these are all upside down because of the bad intentions of it all. He's a criminal and he's trying to evade the law again. And so he's treading carefully. He is treading carefully. He wants to try and make the right move, but equally, he's quite instinctive too, I feel. I need to say Trump is as much, he isn't a person that I would say strategically plans everything, but at the same time, there is an element of planning within it, but without it being over planned, if that makes sense. Because he can, I think he does write things down, but equally, he's a bit daft in the sense of he can't resist just saying things sometimes, and he can't resist just doing things because of his ego. His ego is so powerful, it almost like is the thing that stops him from holding back and go, no, follow the plan, because to follow a plan, sometimes you have to hold back. But his ego is such an ego that potential holding back to follow the plan doesn't happen. So this is why he's trying to tread carefully, but not always working in that sense, you know. It's like he has to lie for things and do a double lie on it to sort of almost like make it come back on, you know. And then the Six of Wands upside down. I feel that this is the things stacking up against him. I feel a lion represents justice in this card, and I feel that it feels like the weight of the justice is stacking up here and getting heavier and heavier and heavier on the shoulders of Trump. Almost, it feels like justice is starting to weigh down on him more, and the less wiggle room is happening on this. You know, it does feel like it feels like it's almost like these ones almost signify cases. Almost, I need to say, it feels that they represent cases that are against him, and they're starting to stack up. But also, the people are getting more courageous here as well, and also people are really starting to see him for who he is. I think this is really significant. I think this is the biggest, you could call it a power, if you like, Trump's power to almost like steer people's perceptions of him. Because they almost perceive him in this godlike kind of cult status. It gives him this ability to continue to get away with things that he shouldn't. And I think the minute this is starting to turn, that ability to manipulate and control others' perception of you is changing in that sense, you know. So finally, I think that is weakening and the courage is increasing, you know. Yeah. I'm going to get an Oracle of the Light card out. So these are the deck of cards that me and Francesco created. Really interesting. Let's have a look then. So, was it the right move for Trump to come to Scotland? Let's have a look. I always say that when I do these readings. By the way, if you're enjoying the channel, do like and subscribe. It's free to subscribe, and I really do appreciate it. And also comment below. What are your thoughts too? Do put a comment below and let me know your thoughts. So let's get a card here then. Okay, so was it the right move to come to Scotland? And we have the upside down Buddha. So I feel this is a no, it wasn't the right move for him to come. I feel that someone that has a bad intention, and I feel that this is represented by the Buddha upside down, if you like. So the the right way up is a Buddha of enlightenment, but this upside down is almost like someone that intrinsically has a bad motivation, a negative motivation. And I feel that because he's come here out of the wrong motivation, it's also created even more negativity around him, So I feel this is really just a clarification card saying, yeah, he's definitely made the wrong move here. And he can't escape it. And I feel that to sum up the cards a little bit, so first of all, he can't run away from the hurt that he's created. It's gone very, very deep into a lot of people's hearts, and there's a lot of hurt created, even though he's desperately not trying. It's upside down, the hangman upside down. He's really trying to run away as much as he can because it's becoming a bigger thorn in his side. And he's aware of this. He's really aware of this, which is why he's trying to tread carefully, but not doing a very good job. He's desperately going to try and just avoid it like he can, but things are stacking up for him here. The weight is stacking up here. And not just that, people's perceptions too is really, really key. And then, of course, we have the Lotus of the Buddha at the end, say that he really hasn't made the right move. He's purely come here to run away like a coward, and it's going to come back and get him, I think, I also think this may well also throw in some interesting developments to the following trip coming up in September to meet the king and all that. I think that this is going to bring out some interesting. I think this trip here is definitely going to sort of resonate a little bit on that trip too. I feel I just need to say that there's going to be some sort of connection between this trip and that and the next one coming up in September. It might almost, I think what I'm feeling with this is almost because it feels like suddenly it's brought it to the UK all of a sudden. He has been over in the US for all this time and suddenly he's now in the UK and then he's going to be back in the UK. So if anything, it's going to mobilize people more, if anything, because now people are aware, like, oh, has he been in England? He's been in England. Why not Scotland? Why not has he been in Scotland? I thought it was over in the US. I thought, is that going on? What is it? And of course, it will come out that it's coming again over here. And I think I'll bring it to people's minds where it might not have been necessarily in their minds, So I think that in itself is quite interesting too. It'll be interesting to see what happens on his second visit, certainly. So, yeah, very interesting cards, everyone, and very interesting what they're saying and everything. Don't forget, do comment below, and don't forget to give us a subscribe. And I do hope you enjoy the channel. Have a lovely, lovely day, everyone. With lots of love and light from the Oracle of the Light, I will see you all really, really soon. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.